Welcome back to a new vlog. Today I want to play Ahri at locals, and we have two locals going for us. One regular local and one late night local. I'm really looking forward to that. In the first one I'm gonna play Ahri. On the second probably as well. If it really doesn't work for me, I will play any again, because that's a deck I know and I want to enjoy the deck. But if I enjoy learning Ahri, how the colors work out together with the tasties, with the watchers, I probably play Ahri both locals. And I'm just really happy to play this deck because Orn has the same colors, and just to get the feeling already of how these colors could work out even in the new set with new cards, I really like that, and we will play Ahri. So let's get charming people so we can sneak the games with pulling their units to our battlefields and reducing their might. Also got these disciplines on the promo pack. I really love how these promos turned out in the promo sets. So you have really something you want to get, and also something people say like that, oh, that's something special. Because if you have these two foil versions next to each other, the promo version really looks beautiful, even though the other cards also look very beautiful. But it's more like something like the alternative art, something special to get with an extra foiling on it. What's also really cool is that we can play the green Ahri, which is also very cool to come back into the game and also to out-tempo our Aurora opponents, for example. So we can side that in to our chosen champion and score points really quick, even through holding. Since we are holding deck, this might also be a card I will consider for Orn, since holding with Ahri gives us so much more tempo and advantage, also forces our opponent to do things. If blue Ahri wasn't that good as a neutral chosen champion, I really would go with the green one. You can also try defaulting the green one, but the blue one just feels better and helps in more situations. And if I know my matchup, I can go into the green Ahri, but usually you should go with the blue to out-tempo your opponent in the sense of having more might and outpowering them with your units.
So we packed our bag, took both decks with us, Annie and Ahri, because I didn't know if we played two locals. Also, I brought my water this time because I'm someone who usually forgets it. So stay hydrated, guys. Take your drink, your favorite drink, or just some water. Try to remember drinking, because staying hydrated also helps with our gameplay and helps having a fresh mind. That being said, before I start off, I drank some tea out of my favorite cup. And then we started into the local games, where I obviously lost my die roll as always. We played against Ahri with Zone Warrants. We start with Trifarian Warcamp to counter damage. But he played some weird lists with Falling Stars, and he starts with Traveling Merchant. I go ahead and counter that with a Poro. He goes into Trifarian Warcamp, discards a card, draws one, and plays a deckhand into the second battlefield, going to 2 points. I start playing Discipline and moving to the Merchant with my Poro. He tries to find something with stacked deck, ended up not finding anything, and we take the camp and the point. So we now have to clear that deckhand. Then I went ahead and played the other Yodel that draws a card, and he starts his turn with Falling Star, which takes me right out of the game at this point. This is pretty hard, and then he places a Kai'Sa, which gives so much pressure. I went ahead, played an Ahri, also played a Sona, because he can only kill one unit if he has another Falling Star. He then goes ahead, conquers the war camp with the Kaiser, drawing a card, playing any to get back the Falling Star like I thought, and he just kills off one of my units, and that's the Ahri. So I'm left with just the Zona and a handful of cards. I go ahead and try to kill this Kaiser with a 4-might Zona, but we use Stupefy on the Kaiser to get rid of it. And we draw and get rid of the Kaiser. No, he plays a flash, wants to take back his 2 units, but I counter that with a Defy, so the Kaiser dies. I didn't want to have it in his base. We score a point and ready our runes at the end of the turn, but we also play a Blitzcrank in there to pull the Annie into the battlefield, triggering our Ahri and killing the Annie for sure without anything dying on our side. And then I passed my turn and I just ready 4 runes because of Zona, which is now a trigger. He goes ahead and plays a Darius, has nothing left to do. He didn't know about the Blitzcrank because he goes back to hand if you hold. So I went ahead and played Blitzcrank and tried to pull his Darius, but he counters that with a Fight or Flight, killing off my Zona, which actually hurt at this point. Also, we can't hold. We have nothing left on our board. He holds with the deckhand and plays another one. 4 game, nothing I could do. Was quite a hard game. The Darius play was quite greedy, but in the end he just would have done that on his turn. Second game, I go first, and we have a Grove on our side and a Dreaming Tree on his side. I go with 2 cards I don't want in my hand because I was searching for a 2-drop and we found the Poro, which we already played. He didn't find anything and passes back to us. We go and move the Poro into the Grove to draw a card if we hold there, and he just has only purple runes and has to play the Kaiser exhausted. No accelerating here. We hold with the Poro, drawing a card for that, channeling our runes and drawing for turn. We quite ahead at this point. I'm looking at my hand and see a signature spell of the Ahri, which can easily kill the Kaiser if he moves with it. Then I put the Ahri next to my Poro, hoping she lives and also hiding a card there. And he goes ahead and tries to kill off my Ahri with a Void Seeker. I am just open with 1 rune because I was thinking that's a Defy in my hand, but it was a charm. Then I used the block I was hiding because he used Fight or Flight on my Poro. Block usually a huge card, and he goes in with Kaiser, drawing a card. And I straight want to kill that thing, just so it's finally gone, because Kaiser's a pain if she has more than 1 draw. The Poro then moves into the Dreaming Tree. If I want to draw, I can just cast a spell on it. He goes ahead and tries to gust it, but I have a Discipline in my hand, buffing the Poro so it doesn't get bounced. And I also draw a card off the Dreaming Tree and for Discipline, so we actually don't go minus here, just he does. He then goes ahead, cleaving his Darius he just played, then we minus him and he still gets over the Poro. Then I go ahead and play the Tree Folk, the Aubergine, and he goes and tries to move his Darius to another battlefield. I don't have anything left, so he conquers on the Grove, and I'm sweating here because he's quite ahead. But we get a point as well, and if the Tasty dies, we draw a card and channel 2 runes, which accelerates our gameplay so much because that's more of a mid-range Ahri list, and I really liked it as a former set player. I then tried to charm the Darius to the Tasty, but I don't think that was the smartest thing because that goes in a very intensive fight. He's still ready. Then he goes ahead and plays a Cleave, and the Darius goes to 8 might at this point. Or what is 7 because I used Ahri. Then I need to buff my Tasty and draw a card. He gusts his Annie to buff his Darius. And I'm looking at my hand and I have to do something here. And it is another Discipline to draw another card and buff the Tasty. So we can kill this Darius. And he shouldn't have... Oh, and he also has the Fight or Flight, pushing the Tasty back. But he also gets a point for that, which hurt. But I moved the Tasty in because he was already there holding. So we can kill the Darius. I -1 him. I don't know why I did that. Then I Stupefy, draw a card. Also play a Poro to hold there. So he's only left with a Noxus Hopeful in his base and an Annie in his hand, as far as I know. He then plays Annie, gets back another spell, which is the Cleave, so he can get over things like my Tasty with just the Noxus. But then he goes ahead and kills off my Tasty with a Falling Star, triggering it, goes in and also uses the Cleave. He just added back on the Noxus. But he then runs over my Poro because I'm tapped out and... No, I have a Stupefy. I forgot. I have a Stupefy giving my Poro -1 to draw an additional card with Dreaming Tree because he was dying anyways. He goes with a stack deck looking for answers for things I could have. And I'm in a really tough spot here. But I have a Sprite Mother, bringing back a Sprite in, which he wants to push back so I don't conquer here, but I'm there with the Defy, so the Sprite can hold here or like conquer here, so I can play things into that battlefield. With 4 runes left, I play a Sona if I'm not incorrect. No, I play another Sprite Mother to place another Sprite, so he is pressured to get in there. He then flashes his Noxus Hopeful to draw a card with the Dreaming Tree, goes in with Annie, clears my Yordle, then goes in with the Noxus, that is -1, and kills off my Sprite Mother. Also, he's playing a Darius, and of course, a Deckhand, also triggering the Darius, which is broken by the way. Then Darius clears off my 2 sprites. He forgot Ahri there, he thought he got the game, but I went in with my Sprite Mother to try and kill the Deckhand, and he just wants to push it back, has no runes left, and he just ducks it for the draw, which isn't that bad, but if I have an Accelerate unit, that's the Tasty here, I just win the game. That brings us over to game 3, where we play with 1 point ahead already. So we have Arena's Greatest, and I have a Dreaming Tree. He starts with a Merchant, I counter with a Yordle. Giving it to him, he starts attacking the Dreaming Tree, discarding a Deckhand, drawing for turn, and then he plays another Deckhand. So he is on 3 points again and also plays a stack deck, and he has so much gas, that's crazy. Then I go ahead attacking with the Yordle, and I have to Stupefy the Merchant. He retreats it with Flash, also drawing a card, and I draw a card for Stupefy. Now I can play the Sona to the battlefield and ready for runes. He then goes ahead, moving the Merchant again, discarding and drawing, which is basically broken. I don't know who designed this card. Then he goes ahead and plays a Darius, and does he have another 1 cost? Of course he does. And I defy that, and Darius doesn't trigger on that, because that card got negated. Then I play the green Ahri again to force things on my opponent. He goes in with Darius, giving Cleave and drawing card with the Dreaming Tree. I Stupefy it, so he just doesn't run over my things. And then I have to Guard again, triggering the Dreaming Tree, also drawing a card. He wants to Fight or Flight, and he Fight or Flights my Ahri back. So my Yordle obviously dies, but I counter that with a Rune Prison, so nothing on my side dies, and my Sona survives. Then he places the Darius onto the Arena's Greatest, rebukes my Sona, but I still have something to hold here. Then again, I move my Ahri into that battlefield, applying pressure, playing Sona again, because Sona is basically free. Playing another unit in there to protect, and he goes ahead with another stack deck into a Void Seeker. I defy that. He moves back his Merchant, again discarding, drawing, and a Falling Star hits again. He then goes ahead and targets my Ahri and my Sona, I discipline my Yordle, but also everything except the student dice. I then go ahead and play another student on the same battlefield, playing another unit in base. He then wants to Void Seeker a unit again. I just want to draw a card and also defy that Void Seeker. Then I play the On Guard on the Watchful Sentry, killing off his unit, and then he again has a Void Seeker trying to kill my Sona, and he does. Was just a crazy game of removal, and he couldn't do anything against my double hold, and that's where we started winning this match. We ended up taking the Tyrant Vent, and we also made a backpedal with a friend of mine, but since the lighting wasn't that great, I just skipped to the hits, and honestly, I'm pretty happy with that. I couldn't have gotten any better pulls. A friend of mine, he sadly didn't get his value back, but I did. I also will show you the hits here, so I hope you enjoy it.
Hey guys, we're back. So I want to talk about two cards I really enjoyed playing in this deck and was pleasantly surprised on how they worked out. The first one is Block. This card came in clutch yesterday. Every turn I played this card. I think that won me the game because Shield 3 and Tank is crazy. Also a card that made the entire card possible, or I would say more surprisingly, we got Sona. This card is beyond belief broken. Talking about rulings to Sona, Sona doesn't trigger. It's a wild effect, so in the end of our turn we just ready for, that doesn't start a chain or anything. If that's still the correct wording on her, she just doesn't trigger. And having one of her is good, having two of her is completely crazy. Also, she has 4 might, and I really like the Sona in this deck especially. But I can imagine, even in Spirit Forge, if people start to figure out how cards work, what we want to play, what we have to counter, Sona might be an actual threat, because it's an any legend ×2 just for chilling on a battlefield. And if we have a holding strategy, she just gets insanely broken. Talking about trigger and rulings, I always want to have one ruling in each of my vlogs, even if it's a small one, so you can learn something I learned on a skirmish or a local, like a Nexus Knight. So, Dreaming Tree. This card is a little tricky. If you have ever targeted something and you were wondering what happens if it gets defied. This is also important for general gameplay and how cards resolve, because Dreaming Tree is really unique in that sense that it triggers on the choose, so on the cost. So if I use an On Guard on my unit at a Dreaming Tree, it immediately triggers to draw a card, and even if my On Guard gets defied, I can still draw a card because the drawing gets off before the card targeting resolves. So we can get into a really weird chain where we target something, draw something, and then with the draw we get another card before our initial card resolves. So we can react to that before the card that let us draw with Dreaming Tree resolved, and that's something you should keep in mind, even if we have some weird chain links. And I hope you enjoyed this, even the pack battle where I went insanely lucky with Time Warp and the Yellow Seal. I'm in love with that. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments. Also, if you like more content, just subscribe and leave me a like and comment. Thank you. See you in the next one. Bye!